Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 59 of the JuvoHub podcast. And my name is Jonathan Sarr, and that's Baloo. And I forgot to introduce him on the last couple of episodes, and he's lying there having a good nap, and he didn't get offended. So he's a good boy. He's my boy. Anyway, I'm here for episode 59. All by myself for hopefully the last episode. Mark has been out teaching CAM class. So Mark Howell from Howell Creative Concepts. So look forward to having him back on the show very, very soon. And I'm just wondering, before we get into the show, do you have any other songs that you recommend that have the word alone or being by yourself or anything along that line, just for fun? Share with me your songs that talk about being all by yourself or being alone, because I really like having Mark as my co-host. He is an awesome dude. So, but it's been interesting doing a couple episodes by myself too. But am I really by myself when I've got Baloo there? He doesn't say much on the shows, but he's a good boy, and I love him to death. All right. Anyway, so let's get into this. Today, I wanted to talk about reconnecting with your connections. So think about that for a minute. What does that mean? On LinkedIn, you may have hundreds or thousands of connections. You may have, especially pre-COVID, think of all the networking events, trade shows we've been to. You met a lot of people, but then you're like, you know what? I haven't heard from that person in a long time. And I had two people do that to me in the last few months. And I can't tell you how happy it made me. Just random reaching out, sending me a text, asking for a quick call, just, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How have you been? Just checking in. I'm like, that is really, really, really awesome. Really awesome. I need to do that. And I need to make a show about it, apparently. Reconnecting with your connections, people you just haven't seen or talked to in some time, people that have made an impact in your life, people that you loved hanging out with at the show, people that you just, you love the content that they share. Reconnect with your connections. So let's talk about 3 different ways that we can go about doing that. Well, first of all, you need to be there. So stay connected with your network. That's really important. Spend some time, seeing what they're doing. And again, there has to be balance. You've got other responsibilities and obligations. So it's a matter of it being just part of your routine. What's happening with your colleagues, whether it's on LinkedIn or Instagram or something along that line, any of those social platforms, but stay connected with them. Be aware of what's going on. Take note of, one of my favorite things on LinkedIn is, job position changes. People have, they've been promoted, or they have decided to take another position with another company, and they're sharing that. That's just awesome. I like paying attention to those things because it helps me see, what's going on with my connections. The way I go about doing that, and I'll tell you, for me, it's about, I'll spend probably about 15 to 30 minutes each evening just going through my socials. It's literally in my mental calendar. Now, you may decide that it needs to go into an actual calendar to remind you. But the point is, do you have a regular time that you are on socials to actually do that? Because then all of a sudden, what happens if you don't have a regular time, then time does what time usually does, and it just flies by. And then you realize that you haven't been on with your network in months. And sometimes, I've talked to some where it's been years since they've been on kind of nurturing and keeping connected with their network. So that's really, really important. And number 3, and this kind of circles back to what I experienced, go the extra mile. The couple of individuals that did that, it totally warmed my heart. I'm like, this is so awesome that they reached out and just took a moment to say hi and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How are things going? What's new and exciting? What's happening with Market Me Social? What's JuvoHub? Just genuinely interested in what's happening in my life and in my career right now. And so I really, really appreciate that. So it was a good lesson for me that I know I need to do better at. Go the extra mile. So let's all do our best to go the extra mile, stay connected with our network, make sure we do it on a consistent basis, reconnect with our connections. And that way we feel part, especially since many of us have felt so disconnected. Look for opportunities to reconnect with your connections. So that's been episode 59 of the JuvoHub podcast. We are grateful to you as a community. Please give us a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, give us a review on your favorite podcast station. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at JuvoHub. So we are so grateful to you as a community. And if you have any suggestions, tips, comments, if you'd like to be on the show, just message us. We'd love to talk to you and entertain more guests and more amazing content. So thank you so much. This is the end of episode 59. Class dismissed. Take care, everyone.